The top 7 mistakes to avoid making when purchasing a new construction home. Buying a new construction home should be easy, right? But far too often times, buyers make mistakes that absolutely could have been avoided. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through what those top 7 mistakes are to avoid making when buying your next new construction home. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Tyler Royke. I run one of the fastest growing real estate sales organizations within eXp Realty. And my team covers every single major market area in the great state of Texas. I'm located in Waco, but I have team members everywhere from El Paso to DFW to Austin, South Texas, San Antonio, Houston, you name it. So if there's anything that I can do to help you on a more local level, reach out via text, email, or whatever's most convenient for you, and I'll get you connected with my top performing team member on a local level. Now, that being said, let's dive into the first mistake that far too oftentimes gets made when buying new construction, and it's not using a buyer's agent. Many buyers think that the builder's agent is representing them, and that's simply not the case. They're not. The builder's agent, or other words, that salesperson in that new construction home, they're working for the builder. So guess who they represent? The builder, not you. You want to put someone in your corner who represents you in your best interest, who's protecting your interest, especially in terms of making an offer, getting the contract ratified, making negotiations, and even up to the final walkthrough. The last thing you want to do is not have someone going to bat for you. And don't get me wrong, the builder rep, they're going to make you feel good. They're going to make you feel like they're throwing this, that, and the other in to make the deal work. But at the end of the day, are you really getting the best possible deal? It's hard to really know if you don't have someone on your side going to bat for you. You might feel good at the end of the day, but if you're working with a great agent, they're worth their weight in gold, especially if there's someone knowledgeable in the local market who's worked with the different builders to make deals happen for different clients who have moved into the market. They probably have a better gauge on what could really be negotiated on any particular deal at any particular time, because different times in the market means sometimes there's just more that you're able to get out of the builders. Other times it just depends if it's more of a seller's or buyer's market and kind of what the season is we're in. You want, at the end of the day, to have someone going to bat for you. The second mistake that gets made a lot on new construction is skipping the home inspection. Just because it's new doesn't mean it's perfect. And if you think about it, guess who builds homes? People build homes, and people make mistakes. And I've seen situations where brand new plumbing isn't even connected properly. You could have roofing issues. You could have HVAC that don't effectively work the day of move-in for one reason or another. Maybe it wasn't installed properly. But many of these things could be caught in an inspection, because they're going to test everything. They're going to look at everything. Like, more often than not, with home inspection report on new build, there will actually be quite a few things that come up, even deficiencies that are caught. But there's an opportunity to get those addressed before move-in if you get a third-party home inspector to put their eyes on it. So don't skip the home inspection unless you want to risk dealing with issues on move-in day that could have absolutely been avoided. The third mistake that gets made when buying new construction is not understanding what is included. And this is another reason why it's so important to work with a knowledgeable real estate sales professional who's on your side, to have your own agent, because someone who's knowledgeable, who's been there, done that time and time again, helping people navigate new construction, they're going to help you understand exactly what it is you're getting. So when you walk into that new builder's model home, it's going to look amazing because they've got it staged with furniture. Those model homes aren't necessarily the base one. They build it with all these upgrades. They've got all these different options, thousands of dollars of upgrades done, and that's what you're walking into. So whatever aspects you like about that model home, just understand that a lot of it's not standard. So there's a big difference and a big spread. Like, so when you see the houses are starting at whatever the price point is, if it's $399, $499, it starts there. Well, add all those upgrades and it's going to take it to the next notch up. So you want to understand what is standard with this builder, what is not, what kind of countertops, what kind of flooring, appliances, landscaping is included, and what is an additional option, and where does that take you on the pricing of it. Just make sure you're asking those questions and that you're informed as you're trying to figure out if that particular builder neighborhood even makes sense based on what you actually want in your next home. The fourth mistake that gets made time and time again is ignoring the timeline and not really being cognizant component of how that plays out in terms of homes being built, especially the earlier you're on in the building process when you get connected, or even if you go under contract on a home that's to be built. Just know that delays often do happen, and they can happen for a variety of different reasons, including weather, supply chain shortages and issues, even permit issues can all cause delays, and some of them unexpected, that could very much delay the time to completion and ultimately the closing and being able to move into your next home. So I say that to say, don't sell your current home or schedule movers based on the first completion estimate. You want to keep track of it and check in, especially as you get closer and closer and further down the timeline with the build and ultimately closing. And I wouldn't solidify those big things from the closing of your existing to the move until you're far enough down the timeline where their delays will be a little bit more predictable versus initiating the build. It's going to be a lot more predictable if the build's completed, because then it's going to come largely down to financing, right? So just be aware of that. And then the fifth mistake that gets made quite a lot with people buying new construction is related to the warranty, specifically not reviewing the builder's warranty and understanding what exactly is covered and what isn't. And warranties can vary. Some items that are covered will be up to a year, others will be up to 10 years, like for structural issues, for instance, oftentimes. But you want to know what's covered, what the timeline is that it's covered, and how to make claims if something were to go wrong. So get familiar with those warranty documents and ask questions if needed for clarity to really understand what you're stepping into and know the timeline that you can file a claim and get certain things covered. And that leads us to the sixth mistake that gets made, which is skipping shopping for lenders. Builders oftentimes incentivize using their preferred lender. Sometimes it's because they own that lending company, other times they have a special agreement in place. But the rate, although there are good deals to be had, it's not always the best possible rate in terms. So it wouldn't hurt to shop around lenders and compare options, especially when you're putting in a loan application, because you do have a period of time that you can run your application with different lenders to see how it compares. You do have a set amount of time that you can do that and not have multiple inquiries on your credit. So I highly recommend shopping different lenders and not just going with the builder's preferred lender simply because they're throwing in a lot of incentives to do it, whether it's a lower rate or a buy down or closing costs. At the end of the day, compare and contrast that to other lenders that you're connected with or that you're getting recommended, and see what makes the most sense at the end of the day, whether it ends up being the builder's lender or not. At least compare quotes. That way it puts you in the best position to negotiate better terms with the loan. And you never know, maybe you get even better terms because you compared and contrasted and asked each lender what they could ultimately do based on what you were seeing elsewhere. And that leads us to the big one, the seventh mistake that you want to avoid, because this could cost you thousands of dollars once you close on your home, and that's not planning for future expenses. This is a big one, and it's so easy to make it if you don't account for every single thing. You want to budget for every single thing that you're gonna want and need when closing on a new home, because there's not anything getting left behind. Oftentimes there's not even window coverings, so you want to budget for blinds and window coverings and landscaping and fencing. If that's not already done and installed, you want to budget for that. And then appliances as well. These are all very common things with new builds that aren't necessarily always included with the base price. So be cognizant, because any one of those line items in and of itself could amount to thousands of dollars. But especially if you combine all of those things, that's a lot of money, and you want to make sure you're prepared, because otherwise you're going to be closing on this new home and very quickly realize that you need all of these things, and you might be coming out of pocket when you weren't really expecting or planning for it. Especially if you were looking at new homes and also considering resales, and you decided on a new home and you didn't realize, oh shoot, I've got to actually take care of all these things. Make sure you account for it, and also factor in HOA dues and property taxes, which can jump once the home is fully assessed, because initially you have the land value assessed and they build something on it, so the initial tax bill doesn't necessarily fully reflect the assessed value. So you just want to be prepared for that. And then ultimately, those are the 7 mistakes to avoid making. And I want you to know too that buying a new home can be absolutely amazing if you can manage to avoid these mistakes. I'm on my 2nd new build right now, and it's phenomenal. I'm a big believer in the value of finding a quality home in a great location in the local market, but you don't want to be unprepared at any step along the way. If you want help avoiding those pitfalls and navigating the process with someone knowledgeable who's been there and done that before from their own experience, and also runs a team of agents that are highly trained and skilled who have helped others through the process, my team and I helps buyers just like you every single week, and we'd love to guide you through the process if you're considering looking at a new home, especially if you're in Texas, but really wherever you need a connection. I can likely make one through my organization within eXp Realty. So reach out and connect. Give me a text, an email, and let me know what market area you're looking at purchasing new construction, if anything, where you're at in the process, what questions you have, and I will get back with you to get you connected with either myself or a member of my team more local to you who can help guide you through the process and to make sure that you're in the best possible position as you plan and prepare for your upcoming move. I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, or if you know of anyone else who might be able to learn a thing or two from what I shared here and avoid making some of these common mistakes, please share the video with them. And if you got value, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, because I'm going to be sharing a lot more insights in terms of navigating new construction successfully, even some things on a more local level here in my market area, Waco, Texas. But stay tuned to the channel if that might be of any value to you at all. And otherwise, thank you for watching. And until next time, my name is Tyler Royke. I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.